Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rechak Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And I was inspired to do this lesson. I was watching a video by the elder Yashawamba yesterday on martial law, right? He mentioned martial law basically is coming to the hood. Which you're seeing the steps into it now with what's going on over there in DC. And really what they're doing is a problem reaction solution, right? And in some cases, they want to get a certain kind of reaction from the people. It's almost like somebody getting in your face, right, and irritating you, and then telling you, well, I'm not touching you. and they're irritating you to the point where they want to provoke you to do something so they can respond. And ultimately, that's what they do with these different events, these catalysts, these FFs. They're to provoke the people to give a certain reaction. And based on that reaction, they can then come in and do what they got to do. And anytime they tell you anything is temporary, or it's just a start, or it's just, it's not going to be permanent, it's actually quite the opposite. And they just need to make that disclaimer so that, they can ease the minds of the people. Okay. But who tries something, right? If you really think about it, you try a problem to a solution. Sorry, a solution to a problem. These problem reaction solution got me messed up. Anyway, you try a solution to a problem, it works, and then you say, okay, that's it. Now I'm going to undo it. No. So that's the same tactic that they use. Like if you, if there's a problem with your car, and then you find out that there's a certain part that's broken, and you replace that part, and then it starts working right again, why would you then say, oh, well, it's been 5 months now, let me go back and put the old thing back there? That's the angle that they go with. Oh, well, there was violence going on here. We brought in the troops. They fixed it up. People are now law-abiding citizens as they should be. And we want to keep it that way. So why should we take away what's allowing us to keep it that way? Anyway, what I want to do this lesson on is a point that he mentioned in there about emphasizing, or a point that the elder emphasized in his lesson about how the Lord is fed up, right, with you wicked Israelites and your perverse and ungodly ways, and he's about to unleash these troops, right, these plagues all on you. And yes, others will be affected, but we know according to prophecy, the elect will be preserved. However, the rest of you, it's going to be a whole nother situation over there. All right, and I mean, rightfully so, because when you look at the behavior from our people, it's completely ruthless. Okay, they have no sense of integrity or anything of that sort. It's just straight wickedness. Anyway, I want to start off here with the book of Second Ezra, the second chapter, because things will get, eventually when somebody foreshadows something, right, they sort of give you a glimpse of what's about to happen before it happens. Eventually the foreshadowing is going to stop, right? Eventually whatever was being foreshadowed or whatever was being warned about comes to pass. And so the things that you're seeing now that we're pointing out to people, and it's miraculous, right? And it's just interesting that you see it right before your face. And now you have a lot of people that are like in the world, meaning they're not in the truth, but they sound so similar to the things that we say. One reason being because a good amount of them watch the videos that we do. All right. But you have, and it's interesting, right? Because it's like now you have some people that are getting that sense of, hey, you know what? The world is starting to shift in a direction where what these Israelites are saying is sounding more and more like a possibility. Let me hear a bit more about what they're saying. And the more they listen, the more it makes sense, right? They listen, they look, they watch, They see how we go into the scriptures, we tie it into prophecy, and then they look at how the course of events are going, and they're like, oh shit. we got to start looking into this one too. But then you have the other hand of people, which are just the sheep, right? And not the good kind. They're like if you've ever read the book Animal Farm, they're like Boxer, right? The horse that was just obedient pretty much unto death. Once again, not in the good kind. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 2 and verse, see, what did I want here? Straight to the point, verse 27. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. And we believe that. We believe that in a famine, we don't have to worry, because the power that we serve, it's infinite ways in which the Lord can preserve you. The Lord can preserve you without even giving you food. He can literally just tap your spirit and just have you be able to just be good. You know, like when you look at the process that takes place when you eat and then you sleep and then your body, you just when you eat and your body's digesting the food, it's breaking down the nutrients into a form that it can use, and then it's dispersing it throughout your blood and then to different parts of your body, and then the waste comes out and all these things, right? Whatever that whole process is to preserve you, right? Is to keep you, keep your body energized, your weak cells get, regenerated, and all these things that are going on. The Lord can just put a spirit on you to where you might not need food, and yet that same process will continue to occur. And it's like you're just like alive walking, but you never feel hungry. Your body never feels tired. It never feels, anything of that sort. He can just have it to where your body somehow knows how to convert air into all the nutrients that it needs, and then use that, right? And it sounds far out, but these are the things that, it may seem impossible, but with the Lord, it's not. So the Lord has a whole bunch of ways. He can have you walk around, and anything that you touch can turn to anything that you think about. So you see a leaf, you grab it and you touch it, it turns into, I don't know, pizza or something, right? And you can do that. In that time, you're not going to be stressed. There's a famine going on, and you're here like, I mean, that's actually perfect for the situation you're in. And that's not something you're worried about. Literally, you can be anywhere. And you hungry, you just look around, whatever it is, you just grab it, and then, all right, I want this to be, I don't know, some fried chicken or something. And then you grab a twig, and all of a sudden it turns into fried chicken. And here you go. Right? So as it says here, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. Abundance. So as people are struggling and they're having to deal with these judgments firsthand because they didn't want to take heed, the Lord is going to preserve his elect. When you look during the time of Jeremiah, when the Babylonians came, Jeremiah was there. He was a part of the people. But the Lord had mercy, and to where you even had the official that was sent, he gave Jeremiah the option. He said, look, you can choose to stay here or you can choose to come with us. But we're not going to put you in shackles and have you walk all like the rest of the slaves. No. We'll treat you good, take care of you, because the Lord put that spirit on them. So, and then you look at Tobit, you look at Daniel, right? You look at different men in these different positions where the situation was bad, but for them, it wasn't. Right? If you look at Daniel's position in the heathen empire, and you look at the position of the nation in that empire, the dichotomy is great. Daniel was in a position of like he was thriving, right? He was basically a ruler. But the nation of Israel were in captivity. See, so in trouble, the Lord always delivers and makes a way for his elect. But for these wicked ass killers, right? And they go around and they call themselves that proudly. They're happy to be known as a killer. You know, one says he became a killer, other guy became police. All right, we'll see what the Lord. You're gonna be introduced to the creator of killing. This is the book of Psalms. Let me see. Yep, this is Psalm 119 and 126. A very key precept here because this is the time that we're in, right? Pretty much go time. It is time for thee, Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, to work, for they have made void thy law. And so people are going to find out why them Egyptians and the neighboring nations didn't mess with the Lord or with the children of Israel after the Lord did what he did to Egypt. The Lord's fear, his reverence, didn't come just by just talking. Okay, that fear and the titles that he gained was through the terror and the actions that he took, the judgments that he brought. The scriptures say the Lord is known in the judgments that he executeth. And the Lord said, it's not going to stop at, a couple of years ago, you didn't see this, but now you do, right? Now you got it in D.C., and it's not going to be just D.C. They're going to bring those troops into other states. They've already mentioned New York. They've mentioned Chicago. Okay, it's not going to stop there. They're going to bring them in there. And you YNs that have been running around thinking, these damn gremlins, the Most High just going to bring judgment left and right, left and right, left and right. No mercy. And as the scriptures say, it's not going to be just officers walking around and then they're asking questions, or you'll see a video and they got Jake in handcuffs and he's talking shit and he's, what? When they come in there and they're all masked up, not where you can even see their skin. They got the helmets, the flashlights, the full on. We're not talking about National Guard looking troops. Them SWAT team looking troops. And they just go in there and do shots fired. You see dead bodies over there. You ain't gonna have Jay coming out in the streets talking about, hey, take your badge off and see what I do to you. Bro, the dude, you realize some of these people are like trained in different arts, and then they're loaded with weapons and they know how to use them. You don't got shit on you. So what is it? What exactly is it that you're gonna do? And the one thing that you can do, which is use wisdom, you completely threw that away somewhere. So the Lord is gonna work, and he's gonna use his sword, which is ultimately Esau, to bring that working. Okay, and working in the sense of judgment. And yes, it's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be scary. You might even feel bad looking at the tragedies and the atrocities that Jake is gonna be going through. It's gonna look like a slaughter. But understanding that it's not an unrighteous thing. It's not like the Lord just got up one day and said, all right, I'm just gonna be a evil tyrannical God and just start taking out my people. No. This is a consequence, a result of something you brought upon yourself, which leads me into the next precept here in the book of Proverbs. This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 29. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. You want to see an example of that? Go to the Elder Manasseh Akbar's page and look at the videos. You want to see what that looks like? Them hating knowledge, them not choosing the fear of the Lord? Go over there and look at that. Those same wicked individuals over there talking shit. You got Jake that's wicked, committing murders, committing theft, committing adultery, doing all kinds of ungodly things. And then you got Jake that are just professing their wickedness out loud, boldly, disrespecting and reproaching the Lord, right? The God that made them. So when the Lord brings that judgment, those same wicked Jakes, they're going to be in such terrible positions that it's going to look like, damn, they're helpless. And you see some of the judgments, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, like that. It's such a painful thing to even imagine, let alone see somebody going through that. But understanding that the Lord brought this upon them, and really it was warranted. Verse 30, they would none of my counsel, they despised all my reproof. So, in other words, you chose this. The Lord gave you an option, repent, turn back, and you'll be good. Or keep doing what you're doing and you will not be good. They chose keep doing what you were doing and you will not be good. Because they wanted to, as they say today, test the Lord's gangster, right? They didn't think that, oh yeah, the things that these guys are saying, it's nothing to take seriously. Okay. Yeah, your life is not to be played with. Verse 31, therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way. See that? And be filled with their own devices. So of the but basically of their actions that they're taking, right? The outcome of that is going to be what they're gonna eat, what they're gonna reap, the things that they have sown. And if you sow corruption, you sow wickedness, you're gonna get judged. It's as simple as that. If everybody knows, if you go and you put your hand in fire, what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna get burned. You either put your hand in the fire or you don't. But you better not go and complain after putting your hand in the fire. What do you think this is? If your hand is not in the fire, you're not getting burned. If your hand is in the fire, you're getting burned. You're not going to put your hand in the fire and not get burned. It doesn't work that way. So you're not going to commit wickedness and disrespect the Lord and be a demon, the worst of the worst kind that there's ever been known to mankind, and then think that you're going to escape judgment. People have suffered great, horrific tragedies for less than the things that Jake is doing today on a daily basis, let alone the things that they're even thinking about. So that reset that the Lord is bringing is going to be through pain. And nobody is going to be able to tell the Lord, oh, stop, and you better not come over here talking about pray for me. No. Because that might just expedite your judgment. So maybe we might. Proverbs chapter 1, verse continuing 32, for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Yeah, so by not listening and turning their ears away and not taking heed, that's going to lead to their death. That's going to lead to their destruction because they didn't listen. They didn't stop. They didn't take heed and repent and seek the ways to salvation. Verse 33, but whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from fear of evil. And you best believe you're going to be quiet. And what that means is you're not going, look, ain't no Captain Saver is going to Captain Saver. No saving, no none of that. And you jump in there trying to do that, and you go and try to intervene in the Lord's judgment, your judgment is going to be right there on the spot too. So get ready for that. Anyway, that's it. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak Udash. And until next time, Shalom.